In this episode, we're going to talk about using testimonials in law firm advertising, attracting clients with credibility. Historically, lawyer advertising was heavily restricted. The American Bar Association and state bar associations followed strict ethical guidelines that prohibited advertising and solicitation, considering it undignified and potentially misleading. Testimonials, like other forms of advertising, were generally not allowed because they were perceived as potentially exaggerative or manipulative, undermining public trust in the legal profession. But in 1977, that all changed with the landmark Supreme Court case, Bates versus State Bar of Arizona. This case transformed lawyer advertising. The Supreme Court ruled that prohibiting truthful advertising by lawyers violated the First Amendment's protection of free speech. Following this decision, law firms began exploring advertising options, but many state bars still imposed restrictions on content, including the use of testimonials. Through the 1980s to 1990s, the ethical guidelines evolved. Over time, the ABA adjusted its model rules of professional conduct to permit certain forms of advertising, provided they were not false or misleading. Testimonials, particularly client endorsements, started gaining acceptance, but were still scrutinized to ensure they did not create unjustified expectations or violate confidentiality. Today, we're in the modern era of testimonials. With the rise of the internet and social media, testimonials became a common feature of law firm marketing, appearing on websites, Google reviews, and platforms like Avo. Ethical rules now often require disclaimers to accompany testimonials, clarifying that results vary and that past success is not an indicator of future outcomes. Video testimonials have become particularly popular as they add a personal and emotional touch to a firm's credibility. Platforms like Google, Yelp, and Facebook now allow clients to leave unsolicited reviews, creating a dynamic where law firms have less control over what is said. Today, we'll first go over the best types of video testimonials, and then I'll let you know how I collect Google reviews for my clients. I'm Phil Tirone, and my company 720 System Strategies generates leads for bankruptcy attorneys. However, what I'm about to show you is also universal for all types of law firm marketing. As always, whenever you want 720 on your side, reach out via the links in the description. This is a client from Maryland.
After my bankruptcy and getting all of my debt wiped away, I cannot tell you how I felt. I felt so much peace. The weight was lifted off of my chest. I could take a breather, inhale, exhale. My mind was so much clearer, so much laser sharp. I could really map out my plan and what I wanted to do to complete my goals. 720 credit score set me up for success by giving me the tools I needed to rebuild my credit, which then allowed me to rebuild my life. I'm so grateful I filed bankruptcy. I got a fresh start. And my saying is, when you know better, you do better. My bankruptcy allowed me to take out a loan. I was able to pay for my attorney fees in between to start my own nonprofit organization and to also publish my book. I'm so grateful. There's no words to express how I feel right now.
That was a real person who filed bankruptcy and asked to tell the story. Let me tell you how I got that video. I basically went out to our 720 database and I was like, I want to do a contest. Who would be willing to tell their story online? Now, what I told them to do is just set up their phone and just talk for 2 minutes. That did not look that good in the beginning. That video was edited up, and it really doesn't matter how they talk because you can edit it up to make it beautiful. You can edit up to make it absolutely beautiful. All you do is have them set it up and say, boom. Even if set it up and have them record it and then just send it to you. You could even say, hey, if you give me a referral video, it's going to help so many people. I've learned that's a key component. Tell people it's going to help people. People have these servant hearts. And you say, I'm going to give a gift card for $100 to your favorite restaurant. All I need is one. Okay. Now I want to show you another video, something I learned from it. Watch this. I want to see if you can tell the difference. This is Priscilla.
I racked up a ridiculous amount of credit card debt. I had 15 to 20 credit cards, and the expenses just kept piling up and piling up. And with all the credit card debt, the hole just got deeper and deeper. And I felt like I was sinking. I was so stressed out every single day. I remember waking up, check my credit card balances, and literally the entire payments that I made were going straight to interest and nothing to the principal. And it got to a point where I just couldn't do it anymore. I did not want to live that type of life, and I did not not want that life for my kids. So I decided to make a call for debt settlement, and it was the best decision that I could have made. I met with an advisor. We came up with a plan. They discussed the timeline with me. The relief I felt after that conversation alone, I can't even describe to you the weight that lifted off my shoulders. I had one simple payment to make, and within 6 months, I was able to get a new credit card to start rebuilding my credit. And then within a year, I was able to upgrade my car. I hesitated so long with reaching out to someone for help or trying to figure out a solution because you just feel like if you do that, you're never going to get out of it. I'm going to have that on my record forever. It's permanent. And that's so not true. I am so happy that I took the step to meet with someone to speak about my debt resolution. It was the best decision that I could have made. I was so relieved. I feel so much better now. We're able to live our lives, get our credit back, make the purchases we need to make, and live the life that we want to live. I racked up a.
So what's interesting about that is segment one, I had a series of videos from clients that have gone through it. Then I hired a bunch of these are not influencers that have TikTok accounts, but like paid actors, right? And I paid these actors and I said, look, I want to give you $100, but I'm only going to hire you if you actually had debt problems. Like I didn't want you to act like you had debt problems. I really wanted you to have debt problems. And so I've tested about 6 or 8 real life people that weren't like that polished. And then I did 6 to 8 people who were like Priscilla, who were looking in the eyes and just really engaging. And I will tell you, there's a difference. There's something like it's the testimonials that are a little awkward. The testimonials of people that are just normal, they generate, and they really generate. So what do we do once we have this, right? Once you have these testimonials, let's just pretend you paid a client $100 or a gift card to record a video. By the way, if you need editing services, we can have our editor do it for you. So just contact us and we can do it. You generate the reviews, you generate the testimonial videos, and then you want a diversity of testimonials, right? I mean, all of you have amazing testimonials in your heart. You have the single mom that was living in the car, right? You have the person whose husband passed away because of cancer. You can really relate to the sick and the poor in a different way. And I really believe that we need to tell the story. We need to tell the story on why what we're doing is saving families. And it can all be told in video, right? Then once you have these videos, you turn them into the follow-ups. When your office is talking to someone, oh my God, this reminds me of this client of ours we had. I'm going to send you a video of this. And you just start engaging people in different ways, not talking based on, hey, we can get rid of your debt. Can you come in for a free consultation? But, oh my God, you remind me of this client. This is what our texting team does in the Philippines. As you know, we have 7, 8 people online, 18 hours or 19 hours a day, responding to your text messages of your clients. And we're engaging with them. We want them to talk. And then we loop those personal connections together. You form honest, real bonds between your clients, your future clients, and your law firm. Now, by the way, this can't be done by every law firm. And the reason why is some law firms don't care. And I learned this early on with 720. I was like, oh my gosh, 720 is like the greatest example ever. There's 14,000 debtor attorneys. I'm going to have 14,000 clients. And I realized there's a lot of people that don't care at all. You guys actually do. Testimonials build unbelievable credibility because all of a sudden, like, these people aren't alone. These clients are not alone. Oh my gosh, check out this attorney has hundreds of Google reviews. I mean, other people were in the same situation I was in. Oh my God, this attorney, that sounds like my story. Wow, that's just unbelievable. And we want to bring this type of clarity to the marketplace because people are confused. Okay. When you're in debt, who do you talk to about it? You talk to your parents about it, they shame you. Not all parents, but many parents probably shame you. You're not at a dinner party bringing up debt because you're embarrassed about it. First of all, you're isolated. Okay. Then you don't know much about it and you're confused. You're confused about the marketplace. You're confused about all the details that you and I know. I've said this 100 times. If debtors knew what we knew about bankruptcy, they would file instantly. When someone is isolated and they're confused, they're powerless, they do nothing. So this whole thing of testimonials and Google reviews are very, very important. I want one thing made very, very clear. There's still a misconception out there, even though tens of thousands or 100,000 bankruptcy reviews are out there, people will leave Google reviews. The easiest way to collect the reviews are by giving something of value first. You know, I don't like it when I go to my dentist and when I'm checking out, they're like, would you give us a review? And I'm like, what do you mean? Well, you can give me a review. And I'm always like, well, I just paid you $150 to clean my teeth. Like, huh? It always occurs as odd. I want to show you an example of how it works. This right here, Evanston, Indiana is Southern Indiana. And this guy, Lloyd Kohler, contacted me many years ago and said, I have 6 reviews in Evanston, and it was like a 3.6 star, right? And he actually brought up Dax Miller at the time. I'll never forget, because he's like, I can't believe Dax has 50 or 55. And the problem with Google local service ads, it's tied to your location. So if your rating is 3.7, you're actually paying Google, and it's going to report that 3.7. You don't want to do that. So we generated 100, I forget what the actual number was, 150 reviews in like a 6 to 9 month period. So here's how we did it. I got his past client list. He gave me a list of his past clients. And all we did is we sent them an email. And we said, as part of our bankruptcy practice, we're now offering 7 steps or 720 credit score as part of the bankruptcy. And also on top of that, a free review of your credit report. So we're going to review your credit report, see if there's any errors. And if there are errors, we're going to send out certified letters on your behalf. Because we didn't offer this when you were a client, we're going to offer this to you free of charge. All you have to do is reply to the email. And hundreds replied. Hundreds and hundreds replied. Now, we didn't do it all at once because we would have been overwhelmed. But the emails come back to us, and we set up appointments to review their credit report for errors and all that. And once we set up the appointment, we ask them, thank you so much. Would you please give Lloyd Kohler a review? And we send him the link from Evanston, Indiana. So simple. And boom, out of nowhere, he goes from 4 reviews or 6 reviews at 3.7 stars to 4.9, 125, 150. He's nowhere close, and Dax isn't even close to him. My point is, add value first. That's the key. Add value first. Next up, click the video above to watch how storytelling drives success in bankruptcy law firms, or check out our bankruptcy intake consultation face-off. I'm Phil Tirone. You're watching 720 System Strategies.